Look, in terms of where the greenback is headed from here, arguably the blue is still swinging or still in full swing. Where does it go from here, and how much is the data on Friday from the payrolls really going to determine that direction?
I think you're right that the data is taking on some increased importance at this point because it has been several months of weaker data flow in the U.S., both on the real side and on the price side as well. The way I look at this in terms of the flow of data is that we did have some stronger news overnight with the strength in the ISM, but it's going to take more than isolated strength in the ISM or isolated strength in payrolls to shift investor expectations. And even under a best-case scenario where the data does start to turn higher, it is going to take some time. And I think that provides a window in which the dollar is likely to sell off. Certainly, we aren't receiving much of a boost from fiscal policy. And when you combine that with the expectation that we are going to get increased convergence from global central banks, which are turning more hawkish, I think that points down for the dollar against a range of currencies, both against safe havens like the euro, as well as riskier currencies like the Australian dollar.
Okay, I want to pick up on that point because we're hearing a lot of hedge funds are actually becoming a lot more bearish in the performance of the greenback in the first part of this year really tells that story. But another way to tell this story is to dive into our Bloomberg right now. Hashtag BTV space 957, Todd, here, because what we're seeing, or what we have seen, is this trend towards risk on again. Gold weakening, yen weakening again. So how do you think this trend is going to play out as we head into the second half of the year?
I think that trend probably has some legs, and I would anticipate outperformance from some of the higher yielding currencies, or outperformance from some of the currencies where it looks like the central banks are going to be at the leading edge in terms of action. I think the Canadian dollar stands out in that respect. And I think what lies behind this trend is that investors simply don't have many other options at this point other than to seek carry. The data in the U.S. has been a bit softer. That means that the Fed is not viewed as threatening. And when we look at data flow across the rest of the globe, it's clear that some of the earlier weakness that we saw around the turn of the year, that there has been stabilization since then. So it does present a fairly positive picture for risk appetite. And I think that will be the trend over the course of this summer.